Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
Hi, Jen.
Hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. Now, this is somewhat of a different episode because, of course, right now, currently, you are in Sedona or somewhere around those parts because you're on your trip.
Yeah, actually, today I'm at the Grand Canyon, I believe, since it's dropping on Thursday. So I'm heading up to the Grand Canyon right now. Mm-hmm.
Fun times riding along in the Jeep with the top down, the Jeep, you know, and the Brady and you and whatever, wind flowing through the hair and all that good stuff, and having a good time and whatever it is that you're doing. I'm sure you've had a great trip so far, and a few more days. So you come back on Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. Very cool.
Yeah, back on Saturday.
Well, the trip looks amazing. All the things you've been posting in the last several days that you haven't posted yet, but they do look amazing. I'm futuristically, retroactively telling you that your posts are awesome.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm futuristically telling you that they're going to be amazing. So
you're welcome. Welcome to the Main Street Electrical Podcast, and we're having a good time here. And of course, I'm Dave, and that's Jen. Jen now having a birthday. Wait, your birthday's your birthday was just passed.
Yeah,
okay, good
it
deal.
just passed.
Now we're recording this episode on the same day we dropped the episode number 53, because Jen's going out of town, so we had to do some little crazy things here. And so if anything big happens, and you're wondering why in the world didn't they open up or talk about the new Fast Pass system that they just announced, it's because
that's not happening, people. We're just
it's not happening. It's not happening. But I'm saying if something big like that happens, we're not talking about it because we don't know that it's actually happened yet. Because we have a special guest on the line here, and want to make sure we can get her in so that we can get this episode recorded before Jen went on her vacation. And that is our fellow agent and wonderful good friend. That is Heather Condis, and she is the Moana Mom. Hi, Heather.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Now, she is somewhat, for Disney fans, she is like an internet presence. She's got a YouTube channel. She's got all kinds of videos and stuff. And she's all about the YouTube. She's all about the video. She's got this lovely face, and she loves talking. Two beautiful little daughters. She's got the programs and she's the socials. She's amazing. Jen and I both stand in awe of. We're like, we just wish we had a tenth of that audience somehow, that people would know that we exist like they do. So good job. We love your stuff, Heather. We're big fans.
Well, thanks. I'm a huge fan. I'm so excited to finally be on here because I've listened to every single episode since like episode 1. And I have to tell you guys, and I know I've never told Jen this before, but me and the girls will listen to we'll just like play old episodes. And anytime you bring one of them up, Kylie or Calista will go, "I'm famous." And I'm like, "You're on YouTube." Like, they love it. Like anytime you guys say like, "Oh, her daughter Kylie," or when she went to get Calista or Moana Mom, they'll be like, "We're famous."
It's so funny.
Love them.
It's funny because some other agents, we have Aaron and we have Alexa, their kids think that Jen and I are like, make them famous when we mention them or we talk about them. Like my own kid doesn't even know doesn't think I'm famous. My wife doesn't think I'm famous at all. She's like, whatever, you're don't think you're famous.
It's a big deal.
Famous to who?
You guys are a big deal.
You know,
I
don't know.
That's what they tell me.
I mean, Jen is kind of a big deal.
She really is. Jen is kind of a big deal. She's a really, really. I'm probably the smallest deal in this little trio here that we got going on. So.
Stop.
I make sure that I don't think of myself as a big deal, because when I do think I'm a big deal, I have people like my wonderful wife Steph or Heather or Jen to remind me, no, you're not really that big of a deal. Don't even. We love you, we do, but you're
a big something.
Deal. Maybe a deal, but not a big deal. So we have Heather on tonight. We're going to play a little game a little bit later on talking about Disney. But first, we're going to dive into Heather. How did you Disney this week?
How did Disney this week?
Or how did you not Disney this week? Because your entire life is Disney. That's the whole thing. Pick one.
I mean, I think that we really should address that like first and foremost, because like I know that everybody you have on here, like they love Disney. But it's literally my life. Like it literally like. It's the only reason that my girls are here is like because it started with me being like a little girl in Disney and like having this dream and then like making it a reality. So I Disneyed this week. Obviously, I planned a couple trips, but I actually booked my pre-night stay, and they don't know this, for our Disney cruise. and I am not giving up that it's going to be canceled. So I booked our pre-night stays. And once I did that, I was like, it's happening. And right now I'm wearing my Tomorrowland t-shirt. So, I mean, there you go. That's how I Disney this week.
That's awesome, Tomorrowland. That's fantastic. Jenn, how did you Disney this week?
Well, since I gave a Disney yesterday, and now I'm doing it again today, but I do have a new one. Look at that.
Oh, yes.
So
how'd you Disney in the last 24 hours?
In the last 24 hours. So a couple of months ago, my sister works estate sales, right? And she loves doing estate sales because I don't know why. She just likes it. But she always texts me if there's something Disney at these estate sales. And there is like an original Three Caballeros poster from the Grand Fiesta tour. Like, and I can tell like how old it is. And I was like, what? She goes, do you want this? It's like $12, but there's like a little tear in it. I'm like, I don't care. Get that to me.
Get it.
So my parents had brought it home and I just picked it up from their house. And it's amazing. It's not in this room where I show you guys, but I am so excited because I love the Grand Fiesta tour and the Three Caballeros. And yeah, it's cool. So
very cool. So I am currently on a diet. My wife and I both are on kind of dieting together, little program we're going through. And in the last 2 weeks, she lost about 10 pounds, which is really exciting. Wow. I know that you girls get really excited. You lose 10 pounds. It's like, oh my God. For me, I lost 9 pounds. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But I know for you ladies, it's a big deal. And, you know, she looks great. We're feeling great and that kind of thing. And there are 2 t-shirts that I've uncovered. I've been kind of going through some stuff and kind of doing late spring cleaning. And there are 2 t-shirts that I have for Disney that I've never worn because when I got them, they were a little too small when I got them, and I put them on when I first got them, and I was like, oh, this is not good. I can't wear these. I'm going to bust out both of those shirts at the 50th, and I'm really excited about that. They're very cool shirts. One's more Hollywood Studios oriented, and one is very, very podcasty, I would say. Very us. Very us. When I have that shirt, my wife got it for me a couple of years ago, and I've never worn it except for the one time trying it on. So I have full hope that whenever I get there into the 50th, I'm probably going to be about 40 pounds lighter, and I'm going to be able to wear both of those shirts proudly, which is awesome.
Yay!
Plus, I will probably also wear the Bing Bong shirt that I'm wearing now because I love my Bing Bong shirt, and so I'm a big Hawaiian shirt fan. Yeah, it's got it at the outlet, and it was on sale, which was nice, like $15. Good times.
That's why I saw that shirt. I was saying to Heather earlier, I was like, I know that's a Bing Bong shirt before we started.
Right. I wore it on the final
park, but that's why it's because someone
I wore it on the final day of our fam trip.
That's right.
You know, the Universal trip that Heather loved so much because she loves Universal. Right? She's smirking. So one of the fun things about because I've known Heather, and Jenn and Heather know each other for they've known each other for a while because they live close to each other. They live in the same Amish village, and I think Heather churns the butter, and Jenn kind of does the buckles and the barn, whatever, and Brady does the barn raising. So whatever. But I knew Heather from online because being in the agency, we've chatted back and forth, and I finally got to meet her about 3 or 4 weeks ago at the Orlando trip. We went to Universal all together, and we went to Disney World, and Heather was not the biggest fan of Universal. I could tell. There were several times that she would say things like, you know, this just isn't as Disney-esque as I would like it to be. I'm not enjoying myself to the fullest extent of my enjoyment. I may be paraphrasing. I might be paraphrasing.
It's an understatement. I'm gonna cry from laughing so hard.
No, she would basically look at me or look at us and go, "This is not Disney. This is not."
Yeah. So Disney. I coined the phrase on that trip, #this is not Disney. And anytime I would find something or someone else would find something, it would just randomly be like Heather. And I had no idea what you guys were talking about. It'd just be like, #this is not Disney. Like
it became
Yep, it became a thing. Now, granted, I personally really like Universal. I know Jenn does too. Heather went because she needed to go because she's a travel agent. I don't know how much Universal you actually sell or how much you even want to sell, but you know, for the Universal head honchos that are listening out there, you've got 60% of this podcast in favor of you, and that's pretty good. 2 out of Meatloaf.
He's just throwing you under the bus. It's fine.
Meatloaf said it. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So you know you're in good shape there.
It's fine. No, I mean, I do love people. You're a Universal person or you're a Disney person. And my oldest daughter, she loves Harry Potter, and we're going back. I'm taking her for her birthday. That's what she wants to do. And the one thing that is very true about me is Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time.
Yes,
Aladdin is my second. but Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. So like when we were in the thing, like, do you guys want to meet Blue or like get me on Velocicoaster, which I'm a little bit skeptical about now, because have you guys like watched like the videos on how that the bar comes over you, but it's just a lap bar? And I'm like, I need the harness to like make myself feel secure.
Feel
like
okay. I've heard that from a few people. I mean, I'll still ride it, but
yeah. So I'm like a huge Jurassic Park fan. So like that is like, that's my thing. I love it. I'm like the one person at Disney that's like, put me on the dinosaur ride because it's like dinosaurs and it's like the closest thing I can get to Jurassic Park. But other
not
than
like that ride.
Other than that, like I'll see Harry Potter and then I'll see Jurassic Park and then I'm out.
And then you hop the shuttle and you go back to Disney where you belong.
Yes.
Well, and I will say this, that when we got back, and I think I told y'all this, when we got back to the parks, to Disney, to home, basically.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't go to Magic Kingdom with you guys because of park passes and such. So I went to Animal Kingdom, and when I walked in, even just walking in the parking lot, I was like, this feels right. This is better. I don't know. I liked Universal. It was great. It was wonderful. I love talking about it, but just something about just feeling this is where I need to be. And, walking over there, this is my home. I belong to my home.
Yeah.
So Heather, you have got quite a story. I know with your two daughters that we've talked about before on the show. And I know that Disney is a huge, huge part of your life and your daughters' lives and everything, how you've ingrained it in there. And I think your story is magic. I really do. I believe your story is complete magic. And I'm adopted as well. So I get that adoption sentiment feel. Jenn's normal. She can't relate, but
it's such a rarity. There's so many agents in our like agencies that are adopted or have like a story related to adoption.
Absolutely.
So Jenn is like the black sheep in the situation.
Well, that's because Jenn went recruiting in an orphanage and she looked for records. She's like, so who might be 20 to 30 right about now? Well, let's go. Can I call them? And so, I don't know. That's just her tactics. It's the way she does things.
So I can't believe myself sometimes. I can't even believe my motivations.
So Heather, if you want to, I would love for you to tell the audience just a little bit about your story and, as much as you want, whatever. I mean, as brief as you want, or, we got all night, whatever you want to do.
And try not to cry while I tell it. That's usually what happens. But actually, I'm so used to telling it now because I am really involved in the adoption community now that that is like part of my life now, like other than Disney. I mentor, like, because I'm a single mom, I mentor other single moms, like in terms of doing adoption. And I'm part of like a social media group that promotes for like adoption grants and stuff like that. But I knew at a very young age, at the age of 15, and it kind of comes full circle. I turned to my parents. It was like one summer and when I was 15 and I saw this little girl and she was like playing like softball on a field and she came like running off the field and she was the cutest thing ever. And I was like expecting like these little Asian parents and like, oh, she's so cute. And she had American parents. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do when I'm older. And I told my parents that. And, you're thinking like your kid's like, oh, and like, as it turns out, like whenever like people ask me my story now, that wasn't me saying that was something like higher, like telling me like, that's what I'm going to do. So then fast forward 20 years later, that was when I was 15. When I was 35, I adopted my first daughter, Kailiana, from China. I started the process in 2012, we were in Disneyland. And Jenn, I don't know if you know this. I
don't think I know that.
I haven't been back since that day.
What?
So we went to Disneyland because my aunt lives out there. And we went to Disneyland and we were walking down Main Street and I just like was completely overcome with emotion. And like, I had known that I wanted to do it. And I was just really gonna push through and just like tell my parents, like, I'm doing this. And I know that this is like not your normal because I'm not married, but like, this is something I really want to do. And I told them in the middle of Disneyland, and I told my mother and my dad, I will not step foot back in a Disney park until my daughter is home.
Wow.
And I gave Disney up, which I know it's going to be so hard for the two of you to believe because I'm there like every 4 weeks. I literally gave it up until 2015.
Wow.
Oh my
gosh. Because I couldn't go back and have all of that emotion not being able to share it with my child. And at that time, like, so we were there in 2012, in April of 2012. And I told my parents that, and she was born, I think it was like April 2nd, and she was born 2 months later, like halfway across the world in China. And then it took an additional 3 years for us to get matched. So of course, I was like, once I was matched with her, I was like planning her first Disney trip. Like it's all like, because I needed to get back there, and then I needed to take her back there. And then we went, my daughter is, you have to adopt from special needs in China. My daughter is a limb differential child, and she's amazing. So she had a bunch of surgeries the whole first year that she was home. We took her in September of 2016. We rang in her 11th month, like gotcha day. You know how like people always take pictures of those babies with the 11th, like the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month stickers. Well, I did that with her because both of my girls were 3.5 when I adopted them. They were not babies. So I wanted to like show them how they changed in the year that I had them. So we celebrated like 11 months in Disney, 2016, like come home. Moana comes out in the theaters in like what? Like November. And I am bawling in the theater at the song, How Far I'll Go, because I knew that I had to do it again. Like, and there was something that was like resonating with me. Like, I have to do it again. So then, you know, I like call my parents into a room and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this again. And my dad's like, you're nuts. Like, you're nuts. I'm not going back. Like it's the longest plane ride ever, but
it is.
So then we started the process for Calista in 2017. It took 2 years to get matched with her. And then I got matched with her in August of 2019. And then there's a long story about how long it took her to get home. And then we were one of the last families that traveled before they shut down the international adoption between America and China because of COVID. And we got home the day before Christmas. And I got Kylie on my birthday and I got Calista for Christmas. So it's like
presents.
That's awesome. So of course it worked out, hence the Moana Mom, which I'm very happy this didn't take an additional year because you would have been the Wreck-It Ralph mom, because that's the movie that came out after Moana. Or the Big Hero 6 mom, I guess might have worked, but it just doesn't have the same effect as Moana Mom, you know.
And Calista's adoption process was really tough on me emotionally. I literally was the Wreck-It Ralph mom, like during her process.
Well, I remember.
I mean, you all witnessed it.
Yeah, but understandably so. It was amazing how tenacious you had to be, and it worked out.
Yeah, I came into the agency right as that was happening, the second go round, and Jen messaged me. She was like, we're collecting money for Heather. Do you want to give some? Sure. Who's Heather? Okay.
He was like, I'm in.
She's in our agency. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Cause I'm new here and I want people to like me. So, all right, here, take my money.
He didn't care about you at all. He just wanted you to like him. So.
Yeah.
And then I'm asking her later, I'm like, so how's Helena? What, who, what's your, Heather. Yeah. How's Heather? How's she doing?
Helena? Really?
I can't remember her name. I don't know. But
oh my God.
No, so I came into the tail end of it, but of course I got, bits and pieces of it and kind of put it together. And it was just a joy to meet you finally and, hear some of your story and everything, which I think is really cool. And I love it because you are exactly what Disney wants when it comes to Disney fan. I mean, I know that it's hard to pick out Disney fans across the country because there are so many of them, but if Disney was going to do I see them doing influencers and everything, and that they're paying somebody to go to the parks, and you see their media stuff later on. It has nothing to do with Disney, and you're like, really? Right. You're giving this person money to do? Really? Give Heather money. She'll come to the park. Don't even pay her. She'll just come for free. And
that's just it, though. I
literally,
it's my life, and it just makes me so happy. And my girls are like firm believers in it too. I mean. The first time I was at the park was whenever I was 4, and I truly took into heart, that whole, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I believed it. And and what really did it in Disneyland is, how they have that the bench where Walt sat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When he was watching his girls, we were coming out from Lincoln. It used to be in that hallway. I don't know where it is now. And it was in the hallway. And I was like, that's it. In fact, the picture that hung over top of that bed.
I remember that one. Yes.
And I'm like a big Disney art fan. Like it's an expensive hobby. I was like, I need that in my house, because I just like stood it there and like looked, and like he was walking out of a castle that was his dream. And I was like, that's it. Like he built Disneyland. It turned into something so much more. Like I'm going to be a mom and I don't care what it takes to get it. And I did it.
Yeah, I love Disney history. I'm a big Disney history buff, and I love I like learning about Walt Disney World history more than anything else, because that's my park. That's the one I really love, and just knowing that he wanted the castle built first, so all the construction workers could see it as they were working, to be inspired just by the castle. And then I found today, I was looking through some pictures, looking for, because Disneyland Hotel is opening again July 2nd, which get that news, but opening in July 2nd. So I was looking for pictures of the Disneyland Hotel that I think a couple of years ago to kind of post, hey, it's an announcement. And I came across my picture of me standing in Walt's apartment, because I took the tour a couple of years ago. And it's just, I remember how incredible that was, because
that's like,
I mean, you're really just, I mean, it's on its surface, it's a guy who helped spearhead a theme park, and you get that. But walking down Disneyland Main Street, knowing, okay, Walt walked here. These are his footsteps. And walking in that apartment, and some of the things have been replaced. The carpet obviously has been replaced. Some of the furniture has been reupholstered, things like that. But there are things in that apartment that are still there. I think there's a waffle iron. That's the original waffle iron. The cord is all frayed, and the cast member was like, yeah, you never want to plug that in. Don't ever plug that in. But it's got like scratches on it and stuff, because that's where Walt was scraping stuff off the pancakes for the kids, and how he would walk out and give orange juice and pastries to the construction workers from his apartment and above the fire station, and just being in that room. It's this sense of like, this is history, but this is the definition of magic. I mean, this is like where magic was born, is right here. And so, it's just something you just feel and you just get it. And some people don't get it, and that's okay, because not everybody has to get the magic and understand it. Some people just want to go and ride roller coasters and be done with it. But, and that's something, to Heather's point, you just don't get at Universal, because there's no history there for anybody. Yes, there are old rides, especially like the ET ride and things like that are at Universal. Well, I mean, I was going to keep going with it, but no, there are a few older rides and stuff that have some nostalgia factor to it, but there's no history there. You don't go to Universal and walk around and go, this is where, I don't even know who founded Universal.
I have no idea who founded it.
Nobody knows who founded Universal. Nobody has a clue.
I just know they stole Oswald.
They did. They did, but Disney got it back in a very interesting story. We'll need to do that. Maybe we'll
do that
on a what if show or a Q&A show or whatever. We'll talk about what happened with John Madden, Al Michaels, and Oswald at NBC Sports. That's an interesting story all the way around. But no, I completely understand it. I get the magic, and so I think that's beautiful. I think it's an incredible story. I love it.
And I don't know if we're failing to acknowledge, but like one of Walt's daughters is adopted.
That is very true.
Was it Sharon?
Sharon.
Okay.
Sharon was adopted.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely. And I think that's a beautiful story too. That if you, I mean, again, that's one for a Disney history episode, but I think that it's important to know that. And she was very involved up until her death. Yeah.
All right. So, and another great thing about some of your stories is the fact you've been to Shanghai Disney. The fact, I've never been there. I've seen the pictures, and I know that you have raved about Shanghai Disney. I'm surprised Jen hasn't been there like 3 or 4 times a year, because every other week she's going on a trip. And how you're not at Shanghai right now.
Halfway around the world, literally.
I know, but so that would take up 2 weeks of your trip time.
Yeah, I mean,
but how did you end up going to Shanghai Disney, Heather?
So during my daughter's my younger daughter's adoption, I said, we're going early and I'm going to Shanghai, because when we had left with Kylie's adoption in 2015, we had left from Hong Kong, and they had like one of those little pamphlets, because we stayed at the hotel that was like right next to the airport, and they were like, it was like Hong Kong Disney. And I was like, wait a minute, I can see Mickey before we go home. And my dad was like, please just get on the plane and let us get home. So then when I said we were doing it again, I was like, we are going, and like, I'm going to Shanghai. I don't care about Hong Kong so much, because like, we can do that. You can do it in a day. But I was like, I need to see Shanghai, because when we were there, it wasn't open.
So it was being built still.
Building it. So, and I was like, it's only 3 years old. In contrast to what everybody says, like, do you remember like whenever it opened, people were like, my gosh, the park is like dirty.
Yes.
That park is immaculate. It is everything that Imagineers have the capability to do here in these parks. And I know everybody's super pumped about Tron. In fact, like I posted a video on our YouTube channel today for like Throwback Thursday. It was like the time we rode Tron, and everybody's super excited about it. But Shanghai Pirates, I got off of that ride and I was bawling. Now, let it be known that I am a Disney crier. Anything can get me emotional. I can see like a mom holding her little girl and I'll be like bawling. I cry with my girls, all that stuff. But I was bawling because if that is what Imagineering can do, like our parks are limitless. Like it is hands down, and everybody's like, Rise of the Resistance is the greatest ride ever. It is not. And I just got my mom on Rise of the Resistance this past trip when we were just there a couple weeks ago. And she was like, oh my gosh, it was great. The Imagineering that's in it. And she's like me. I've never seen Star Wars. Neither is my mom. My kids are super into it. And I'm just like, I'm a Marvel mom. Like I don't have the time to dedicate to it. Give me all the Marvel. I'm good. And I said to my mom, now my question is, was it better than Shanghai Pirate? And she was like, absolutely not. It's mind-blowing. And their rides there, their Peter Pan is better than ours. Their Winnie the Pooh.
Our Peter Pan is nostalgic, but
it is nostalgic. But even if they if they kept the same ride track, it could be phenomenal. The park is amazing. So 2023, which all the agents know because I've said it for a long time. 2023, we are going back and we're going for 10 days and we are going to do Shanghai, Hong Kong, and we are ending up in Tokyo. Like I'm doing Tokyo Disney. So
I wanted to do Tokyo forever.
Yeah, like just hit up Upon a Star Travel because like we're doing it and it's like not a joke. But
and I'm gonna need an advance on commission for that. That's just FYI. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about pay and scale and such. Just
exactly right. But their hotel, the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, is everything that the Grand Floridian should try to be.
Oh,
it's the standard. In fact, the reason that I love Riviera so much is like when we walked in, whenever Riviera was first done, it smells like the Shanghai Disney Hotel. And you know how those windows are?
Yes.
You look out into the courtyard.
Yes.
They did that. It's a smaller version of how Shanghai looks out, like only where those windows are. You look out into the park, you just see the castle across the lake.
So that's where we're staying, right?
So,
you're speaking Jen's language, by the way.
Like, I mean,
you said better than the Grand Floridian, she perked up. She's like, what?
See, I love the Riviera too, though. I mean, see, and for me at the Grand, it's the villas, which the villas are what the rest of the Grand should be.
Yeah, I think the Grand is overrated, and I don't.
I know you think
it is,
but I say the villas, and the villas are not overrated.
How is Shanghai's version of All Star Sports? Do they have that?
Oh my god,
they have a Toy Story hotel, and that was for All Star Sports.
There you go. That's where I would stay because being a boy, I have like pay for the hotel by myself. So you know,
all the hallways have like lime green lighting, like you're the aliens.
That's amazing.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. I like that.
Yeah, but no, we're gonna stay at the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah, that has to happen. I mean, and we were talking about the Disneyland Hotel earlier, and I love the Disneyland Hotel, like California Disneyland Hotel. I think that one's amazing. 100%.
Is there anything that Walt Disney World carries better than Shanghai? Like, can you think that I kind of like Disney World's a little bit better than this one?
Well, in Shanghai, they do not have. You know what I'm gonna say? They do not have a haunted mansion.
I knew it.
Did not.
They have something else.
Hong Kong, they have Phantom Manor,
don't they? Hong Kong has Mystic Manor, but it is not the same thing because
Phantom Manor is Paris.
Culture views death and things differently than our culture here. You also don't see things in like groups of 4 and stuff in China. It's very fascinating. And I have to say that like both times that we've been to China, and we were there for 2.5 weeks the first time, and we were there for 3.5 weeks, practically almost a month the second time.
Yeah, you were gone a while.
I love it. The people are so nice. They're so nice. But like I want to go back. I think about it all the time.
So I'm thinking, Jen, episode like 165 of the Main Street Electrical Podcast, straight from Shanghai, because that's kind of would be where we are.
Yes.
All right.
Broadcasting live from the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel. So
Heather, will you be our guest on that episode?
Yes. I'll do it. I'm
She'll
gonna
be
be the ringleader.
because she'll be like, can't believe you haven't
You're
asked
the
me back since the
ringleader of
first
the
time.
circus.
I'm gonna be the ringleader on that trip, just like I'm going to be the ringleader for the 50th anniversary.
You are the ringleader for the 50th
You've already got a
anniversary.
reputation for that, by the way. Everybody's
Mhm.
like several people have said they're just going to follow your lead. Whatever you tell them to do, that's what they're going to do. You know, so.
Well,
And of course,
you know I'm not getting up at 3 a.m.
I was going to say Jen's excited because we're going to save her place in line
It's fine.
with our blow up chairs.
With our blow up chairs.
Blow up chairs.
And let it be
Chairs.
marked on record right now that this podcast right here is the first one that had the ideas with it, because
Boom.
I literally had a countdown in my phone for 3.5 years.
I've seen it.
The day that I could call in, and then I didn't even post it in the agent page until I already had my room, and I was like,
You did.
by the way, I already have my room, go at it. And then everybody was like, oh my gosh. And so then I was like, and we're doing blow up chairs, and we can just throw them away whenever we're done.
Yeah.
See, told you.
Because I'm not going to sit outside of the security gate for 6 hours, like, and just stand there. I'm going to sit in a blow up chair.
We did it immediately so that we get our park passes.
Yep, and
Like,
they're
I'm
all
just
sold out
saying.
now. Magic Kingdom's sold out.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I should say we had to get the reservations first because that was pre-COVID,
Right,
and then
right.
But then whenever the park pass,
Well, and because they shut the reservations down for a while.
Yes,
And then you couldn't get anything. And we were all worried they were going to empty everything out and start
we
again.
were like,
which they
no,
didn't.
don't make us start from scratch. Don't make us.
And
start
then
from
travel
scratch.
agent rates came out, so we were able to get some of those, and so that helped. But so I actually have 2 reservations. I have Pop Century and Caribbean. Caribbean's cheaper than Pop, but I'm waiting to see if any fall discounts come out that makes Pop cheaper than Caribbean. So I'll just keep whichever one is cheaper.
David Dollar, you should take this out because it's illegal to have 2 reservations.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're editing that all together. Nobody but Marcy listens to this.
What are
podcast.
you talking about? Like,
Exactly. Well, one's for me and one is for Stephanie. That's exactly it. And Marcy's not going to care because she loves this. If you did this, Jen, she might tell on you, but she's not going to tell on me because I love Aladdin's Magic Carpet, and that's why Marcy.
You know what? I feel like I get so much shade for stuff I don't say.
Probably, which is also what I want to apologize last week for Jen making the little comment, kind of as an aside. I misspeak, and it came out, and it was a little blurb, and we kept it in because it was really funny. So if anybody was offended, I apologize on behalf of Jen. We're a team. We're a team, so we take the blame together. If we take the praise together, we take the blame together. So as a team. Just saying, I do apologize if anybody was offended by that. I left it in because it was funny, but looking back, I'm like,
it was about me, and I found it funny. So
yeah, well, there you go.
Whatever.
Very, very good. So we're gonna play a little game here. I thought was kind of fun, and it's called Stop, Start, Continue. And the origins of this actually is I used to work at Starbucks, and we had some of our reviews actually as managers is they would do stop, start, continue. They would ask us what we wanted to stop, start, and continue in the store. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's talk about Disney with this. And I'm going to bring up several categories of Disney stuff. And we're going to say what we would like Disney to stop doing, what we really would like them to start doing. And hey, Disney, great job. Please continue doing this. And so the first category is Disney tech. That involves magic bands, that involves my mobile magic, whatever, that involves a website, any kind of tech stuff, Disney tech. Jen, what would you like for Disney to maybe stop doing?
Oh, well, I would like them.
Go on.
Just one thing. Okay. I'd like to stop rolling out new things before we fix the old things.
Oh, I love that. That's a good answer. That's a good
amen
answer.
to that.
I'll just leave there.
That's actually what I was going to say is, let's fix everything first, make sure everything's running smoothly before we start rolling out new things. Hello, Genie. Whether that's coming or not, we don't know. But Heather, what would you like Disney tech maybe to stop doing?
The new thing with the phones for everything, I am like so, as a Disney fan, irate about, because when you go to Disney, whether you're sending clients or whether you're going yourself, the one thing that you do not need to have with you, and especially now if there's no fast passes, you do not have to pull that phone out because you could just scan your magic band. You have your memory maker. Someone's taking your photos, you're riding rides, and you are basically engulfed in the story that is Disney World, Disneyland, anything. Now it's, you're going to have your phone for your ticket. You're going to have to do whatever. And let me tell you where that's going to be a problem. People are going to be standing in line like this. People are going to be standing in line doing all kinds of stuff now, and they are going to be missing the magic. And I think that a lot of parents go to Disney because they need to check out. Like we all need to check out, like off of your cell phones, like away from your work, nothing, just be a family. And then constantly having that, if a text message comes through, you're automatically going to be like, oh, I just have to answer it.
Right.
I'm against it. Like I'm all about like, please just like leave the magic bands and or the plastic tickets. I don't care, but like, do not tell people to keep bringing their phones out. Like they're going to miss so much of the magic that's around.
That's what I would say that I want Disney to start doing, is start looking at and making it more accessible to have a choice. If you want to use your phone, okay, that's fine. But make it just as easy to use a card or use a magic band versus we kind of want you to use your phone for everything. But if you don't, that's okay. But please, when we went this past time, because I have my ticket on my phone, I found how to do Apple Wallet, even though Jen told me I should already have it. We found it, and I had to use for the ticket. And like I went to use it 3 or 4 different times. And each time I felt like I was holding my phone a different way. First, it was like straight up, and then it was like flat, and then it was like I was waving. I mean, just based on what the customer was telling me. So there was no clear direction on put your phone here, and this is how it should work. And so when I would go to the next park, I would try to do it the same way, and turn your phone this way. Well, that's not how I did it earlier. Well, that's how you should have done it. Well, that's not how I did it. And so, yeah, I would love for them to start making it more clear and start basically giving the people another chance to other options to use your tickets and stuff. Jen, what do you want to see Disney start doing when it comes to tech?
Oh, okay. So when it comes to tech, and I got to think about how to properly word it, but I think.
And Heather, you can jump in too if you.
Yeah. I mean, this one I think is a little bit harder to answer.
Well, the Bobs are listening, I'm sure. So I'm hoping they're gonna.
Josh is listening.
I want Josh. And
Josh would be listening.
Well, they're gonna play this episode over like one of the conference calls amongst all the executives, and it's what's gonna happen. So
and
we're
then
talking
everyone's
to
gonna
them.
listen to this.
Exactly. Alexa, please mention your podcast.
Need to know, like me and Josh, BFFs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm his biggest fan in the entire world.
You are his biggest fan. Like just as an aside here.
Yeah, side note. I
are.
remember when he was like coming up and I was like, listen, this is someone you have to watch. And nobody knew who he was. And I was like, he is the future of Disney.
You have said this for years.
He is the Walt of our generation.
Yes.
And everybody thought it was nuts. And now he just keeps moving up and everybody's like,
well, you were saying to us,
him.
You were saying to us that you believe that Josh is our future. Teach us well, let him lead the way. And he would show us all the beauty he had inside.
Yep.
Giving us a sense of magical pride. Yeah. Did you think of what you were going to say? How you wanted to word it without sounding offensive?
Well, ish, other than when I was laughing. I want them to start thinking about a slightly different rollout process for things, because I feel like in a lot of cases it's like, okay, well, this is coming, okay, and now it's here, but the kinks aren't fully worked out yet. I want them to start maybe having like smaller testing pods. Does that make sense?
That would make total sense, because I think I feel like they should have learned their lesson when they rolled out FastPass Plus in 2013, because that was a debacle, and they went like something like $1.5 billion with a B over budget on that, and the guy that was in charge of the program got fired, and it was a disaster rolling out, and eventually it worked itself out, and then of course after it worked itself out, COVID hit, and they are looking to possibly replace it. We don't know anything; it's just a guess. But I feel like they should have learned something from then in terms of. And I know at some point you just have to roll it out and hope for the best and see what happens. For
sure. And there's always going to be kinks. I get that. But I just feel like sometimes stuff rolls out before it's necessarily ready.
Like
Universal, and not that it's not a good idea. Like it's like, oh, this is a great idea, but it's just not.
Universal, we expect their stuff to break as soon as they because that's what happens. They open up rides and it doesn't work for like 6 months before whatever, because they want to get it out there so fast. And now it's like, okay, Hagrid, it's only gonna be running every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 1 every day, except for it's not.
Except for when it doesn't open at all.
Disney does not have that reputation except for Disney Tech. That's the one reputation that Disney has. So now let's talk a little bit about continuing. What do we want to see them continue to do for Disney? And for Disney, I wanted to see them continuing to think outside the box. I think some of the stuff they've done, FastPass Plus to me is a great idea. Maybe the rollout wasn't great. Maybe the execution wasn't great, but the Plus itself was great. Max Pass Plus, I think in California is a fantastic idea. I don't know that I agree being $15 a day per person for Disney World, because when people are staying 5 and 6 days, family 5 or 6, that's going to be expensive. but I think it's a great idea. I think they've got a lot of great ideas, and I want
Mhm.
them to continue to innovate like that. Don't feel like when we're complaining about Disney Tech not working that we want to shut it down and go back to a black screen with orange letters, and we're pulling up Prodigy, we're logging onto AOL, whatever, green letters, orange letters, whatever. I want them to continue to innovate. Just be a little more cautious on how they roll things out. Maybe, I don't know.
Heather, what do you think?
I am tech. We all know this. I am tech at the agency.
You are tech at the agency.
I am tech at the agency. My whole thing is that they come up with these whole processes or ideas, and then so example, like you brought up the genie thing that never rolled out. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it will ever really amount.
And in fairness, it was supposed to roll out October of like 2020, like the fall.
Correct.
And then COVID hit and changed.
And then you've still not heard anything about it. And I mean, that could be because of like budget cuts and everything like that because of COVID. But my whole thing is like, it kind of, I think, goes back to your last question. Like, can we please figure out what is working? Because, the Magic Bands and the whole Fast Pass Plus was such a disaster whenever it first rolled out. And then it started working. But then, how many times were you on a ride or even coming into the park and like your Magic Band wouldn't work? And like you're saying right now with the phone, like, couldn't we have made that work before we were just like, oh, no, wait, we're just going to get rid of that technology. We're going to try something else.
Yeah. I mean, because I know they want to get things ready for the 50th, but at some point you have to go, you know what? It sucks, but there are certain things that'll just not be ready for the 50th.
Correct.
Let's put our attention on these things over here, and we'll do the rollout next year after the 50th. Maybe for Epcot's 40th, we'll do something big when introduce something. And I get that with the phones and stuff, but I felt like Magic Bands could have been around another year or so because
easily.
And again, I don't know how hard it is to produce. I don't know if it's a big budget thing that they're just cutting them or they just want to get rid of the program altogether. But
I'm fine with it being paid, honestly.
Correct.
I mean, like, whatever.
I'm fine with that. I mean, they're $5 for the colored bands, but
do you think, to be honest, if they didn't just factor it in and increase the price of a package, the people wouldn't pay it?
People are still paying it.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I still have a lot of clients who.
So why not just factor it in and say like, hey, it's an extra $50 or $60 or $80, like to have your Magic Band, but it's all included in the package. Like, not the ones that are like $50 that are limited edition. I will never understand that.
Well, that's different. I mean,
I will never understand it, but like charge them $10 or $15 to like have them, but keep them around because people do love like bombs, especially.
Well, they are staying around. I mean, it's not like they're going anywhere.
The basic colors are $5. I mean, like you can get a basic Magic Band for $5.
Correct. I have a lot of people who want to do that for their kids so that they can,
And as I've even given gift cards to certain families to say, here, I'm gonna get your Magic Bands for you. Here's a $20 gift card for your family of 4. Get your Magic Bands, which is a fun little gift there. And so they're not that expensive unless you want to do the fancy ones like the Marvel or the ET or the whatever.
The ET. Did you just say that?
I don't know why you hate me, David.
We love each other. So for the audience, Heather does not like ET. We won't go into detail, but she is not a fan of that character. And when I say not a fan, like as in like she's
terrified.
She's terrified. She hates ET altogether. So just there's a visceral reaction when I bring up ET, and I do it for fun because to watch her flinch and go, ugh, So that's why I said.
So would you like to play stop, start, continue with Dave? Like, what do you wish Dave would stop, start, and continue? I just
tagged me on Instagram the other day for it, and I was just like we're not friends anymore.
Stop mentioning ET. Start not mentioning ET, and please continue not mentioning ET.
That actually is probably a lot of the reason that I'm not the biggest fan of Universal because that wretched
because of
is still in the park.
It is over in the corner. It is kind of tucked out of the way, so you kind of have to.
But there is merchandise. I mean, the merchandise is in the store.
I bought a Universal shirt, and I actually told Heather before I pulled it out of the bag, I'm like, it's got an ET on the corner. I'm sorry. I'm forewarning you that I'm wearing it tomorrow. I'll hug you on the other side of me, just FYI. And she kind of looked at it and she flinched a little. I'm like, I'm letting you know ahead of time.
And I stayed away from you that second day.
Yeah, she really did.
It was really sad.
That's fair. Well, I would like to continue to innovate. I'm going to agree with Dave. That's actually the first word that came to my head, and then you stole it, but it's fine.
Well, you're welcome. Let's talk a little bit about Disney dining.
Yay.
Disney dining as a whole, table service, signature dining, counter service, whatever. What do we want to stop Disney from doing? You should stop with certain dining.
Oh, well, I mean, I only eat at the places I like. So
I'll give you one. Right, we need to
Yeah.
stop. Do you know how like right now, Liberty Tree Tavern, they have the overflow going into Diamond Horseshoe?
yes.
Okay, so let's just stop at Disney and don't bring Diamond Horseshoe back.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right.
I like that.
I can get
Don't
behind
bring it
that.
back. And it doesn't have to be Liberty Tree. It can be something else. But like, let's just stop it and not bring it back.
Well, I would like to see them stop. And again, this goes back to what we talked about before, relying so much on mobile ordering. Mobile ordering is great, but I am a person who likes to walk up to the counter. I like to walk, and maybe this will all come back with COVID loosening, restrictions loosening, but I like walking up to the counter and I like ordering my food and walking up and getting the food there, having a receipt torn and stuff. I don't mind that at all. I actually like that. I like the face-to-face
See, I
interaction.
actually don't like that at all.
I like asking my questions. Okay, so I'm getting the burger, and can I actually substitute the cookie for blah, blah, blah. I like that versus, I've got, and
but I can do that on my app.
if you have a gift card, that's really hard to work with on your
Okay.
app.
All right. Okay.
Card.
That's true.
And so, you order your food and then you have to wait for it. And then you get your food. You have to go find a place to sit. I like the old days where the family goes find us a table real quick and I go get our food and bring it back. And I'm a big fan of that. I just am. I don't mind doing that at all. Flame Tree Barbecue is a great example. I like ordering the food while the family goes sits by the water at the table, bring the food. And you know what? If you don't want people sitting there without eating, have some cast members out there kind of monitoring. If they see a family sitting there for longer than 10 minutes and are you waiting on somebody? No, get out. Or, hey, would you mind leaving? You say it either way.
I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to say like get out.
Probably not. But
pretty sure.
But yeah, so that's my stop on Disney dining. Any thoughts on
I don't know that I have a stop on Disney dining. I mean, because I like, again, I go where I like.
You like what I like.
So, like, I like what I like and I go where I like. So if I want them to stop something, I just don't go to that place. So I don't think I'd like to stop having capacity limits right now, but that's not really in their control. So
that would be nice. What about Disney dining for starting? What would you like to see them start doing?
Start. I think I might like to, well, actually they're already doing it, but it was because of COVID. I kind of wanted the buffets to turn into family style even before this. I wanted to start more like family style versus buffets. And like then COVID did that. So they kind of did. I'd like them to continue keeping the buffets as family style because I'm a fan of that.
I agree with that.
I had to start a second ago. Now, darn it.
They need to start bringing back all the rest of the characters.
Yes.
They have to. I mean, whether it's socially distanced or not, they have to bring them back because people are ready. Like they want to dine with the stepsisters. They want to be at, well, I mean, Tusker House will open, but like they want to be at Artist Point. They want to see the Evil Queen. Like people are ready.
And it's fine. I think it's fine if they're distanced, like you said.
Exactly. But just bring it back and get those workers like back to work. They want to come back too.
I would like to see them start doing what we did years and years ago, and that was dining at midnight. Because, and I don't know that maybe we can do that again. I don't know if it will work this way. But back in the day, you did fast pass. Well, for me, I'm Central Time. We did fast passes at 11 o'clock and dining at midnight. And it was perfect because I stayed up as long as I needed to stay up and get what I needed to get. And I could go to bed and not have to get up at 6 a.m. And now, of course, for me, dining's at 5, fast passes are at 6. So, depending on what's going on, I have to stay up that whole hour. Obviously not now with fast passes, but limited capacity hurts.
Eastern time at 6 and 7.
Yeah, exactly. And so I like doing it at night. I'm just a night owl like Heather is. And I enjoyed sitting there for the computer at 10:45 at night and having everything ready and laid out. And, the kids in bed long asleep and the wife's about to go to bed. I'm here, got my computers, and I'm 4:45 in the morning. It's hard. You got to wake up. You got to get 2 computers going, an iPad going, and you're like drowsy and trying to wake up, and you're looking at the clock and you're like, crap, I slept too late. Now it's 5:57. I would love for them to start doing that again where they had it at midnight. I don't know that they ever will. They probably won't, just to make me angry. But yeah, that would make you angry. That would be great. What do we want to see Disney dining continue to do?
Continue. I do like that they continue to bring out new and different food offerings. And I would like them also to continue with my favorites. Hello, La Cellier cheese soup. Like, don't ever change that. Like, you need to continue having that.
Yeah, to bring back the original menus.
The good menus.
Yeah, and don't cater to the people who freak out because you can't get a hot dog at Skipper's Canteen. You know what? Go to Cosmic Rays. Go to
Yeah,
Krabs
like it's
Patties.
quick service. If you want a hot
It's
dog,
fine.
go to Casey's Corner.
Exactly.
We don't need chicken
you know.
nuggets at every restaurant, like on the adult menu.
On the adult menu, right?
It's like when Ronto's Roasters opened up over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, they had to change the menu because people didn't know what they were ordering. And so then they went to like basic food and people got mad because they're like, you're taking away the character, the
Like,
style of
you could just like
and so
put
now
a
it's like,
description.
and well, now that's what they have. They have whatever the tip yip, and then under it, small print, it's like, steak, whatever. I want them to start bringing the dining plan back. That's what I really want to happen. And that's not just as an agent, that's also as a Disney goer and a Disney fan. I
Big
think
time.
it's so many people love it, and whether it's worth it or not, it's a completely different discussion. Depending on what you do, it is. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I think it's an option that families love.
Absolutely.
And even for us, it was probably more money. We probably paid out more money for the dining plan than we would if we just bought dinners in the parks. But to have everything paid for ahead of time, you're done with it. It was so great.
Oh, I
So
made out
really,
like a bandit on Disney dining plan.
You're the signature
back
dining
in the
person,
day.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody gets their own entree, their own appetizer. Oh, I remember I went in 2007. We got the dining plan for the first time.
Oh my gosh, that was like
Gratuity included.
yes.
Appetizers included.
All the time.
Entree, dessert, drink.
Oh,
And it was only like $55 for an
it
adult.
was so cheap.
It was like $20 for
It was
kids.
ridiculous.
It
It
was
was ridiculous.
Le Cellier was 1 credit.
It was 1 credit.
It was awesome.
Again, made out like a bandit on that
like
trip.
I would buy a steak at Le Cellier, and that would basically be the price of my entire dining plan for the day. And it was fantastic. And gratuities included. It was so great.
It was like almost too much food.
Yeah,
because
it really
like
was.
you were getting,
food.
and then a quick service. It was the entree, the beverage, and the dessert. So it was like you were eating dessert. Like, I mean, I'm not complaining.
3 meals a day.
Dessert 3 meals a day. So whenever they like got rid of the dessert with the quick service, and let's be real, most of the quick services do not have good desserts. Okay, the exception was Be Our Guest whenever that was a quick service. Like it's like a brownie or like a packaged whatever. Okay, that's fine, but I'm not normally gonna buy that. Like I want my Dole Whip, so I was glad when they went to the 2 snacks. I was like, okay, I can have my Dole Whip for dessert.
Plus those snacks that you have left over. I always love, like, I would hit up like the candy store on the way out and get those $7 bags of candy and like bring them back to people at home. They're like, oh my gosh, thanks for thinking of me.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm like, that was prepaid on the dining plan.
That's
You're
right.
welcome.
Yeah, like I needed to use up my
Yeah,
credits.
we did that.
They
We would
didn't
have
know.
because
They
I had a
didn't need to
thing
know.
where I didn't want to use a snack credit for a bottle of water. I just paid the $3 for it. I just
Right.
felt,
No, pay the $3
I was like,
for the
no.
water.
And so by doing that, I wouldn't use the snack credit later. And so at the end of the week, I'd have like 14 snack credits. So I'm like, I'll take 2 pieces of fudge and I'll take that candied apple and let me get this over here. And I'm like one of my carry-ons on the airplane is literally a bag of food.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong
All
with
it
that.
is just a bag of food.
Nothing wrong.
And I'm coming home and I'm bringing home. I'm like, here's this for you. And hey, mother-in-law, here's your candied apple. And here's this. And what it was a lot. Yeah. I mean, people were loving it because I'm handing out pastries and Disney goodies. And I'm like, paid for it already. So you might as well enjoy it.
Right.
So, all right. So last one here, and we're running a little long. So I'll just cut out the stop and start and we'll just go straight to continue. Disney parks as a whole. What do we want to see Disney continue to do at the parks? This is where you can throw in the magic and leave it on a positive note. And you know what? I will say that I want Disney to continue bringing back the magic. Every time we have another announcement about something opening, I get excited. I don't care if it's like, I mean, they could announce tomorrow, okay, the 3rd restroom in Epcot over by Test Track is going to reopen. I would be posting about it and I'd be like, it's going to breaking news. It's opening. I mean, just everything that reopens is another, when Tusker House got announced for reopening, I told my wife and
I was excited about that.
That's her favorite meal, Tusker House. She was like over the moon. She was like, oh, that means we can get it for November. Oh my God. She was so excited and just, every time they announce another bit of magic coming back, the cast members coming back. I'm hearing that the Hoop-Dee-Doo cast members are coming back. I'm hearing the Finding Nemo cast members are coming back. And, things are happening and slowly but surely beginning to come back. And I'm loving it. I want them to continue to roll that news out, and confirm it before the dirt sheets get out there. And, you got inside the parks, whatever, .org.com.gov, throwing up whatever they can. Hey, fast passes are coming back next week. And everybody's asking us questions, but Disney, get out ahead of it and keep releasing that news and keep us excited because we're excited. We're really excited.
Yeah, for sure. Heather, what do you want them to continue to do?
I need them to continue the character cavalcades. I'm obsessed with them.
They're
They're
great.
amazing.
They really are great.
There's never any crowd. And I think that it's wonderful because you can be going from ride to ride and you're pretty much going to see almost all the floats that were in the parade. And I think it's perfect because everybody stops for like 10 minutes, watches it go by, and then they like go to the next ride. And then those people that were getting off are catching the next one that's coming out 15 minutes later. I'm obsessed with them. And I also think that the characters that are randomly coming out and like playing behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like I hope they keep it. I hope they keep adding more characters to it because I think it's amazing.
Yeah, because you didn't get that in a regular meet and greet. You would walk up, give your hugs to Pooh and then whatever, and walk away. But now you've got parents who have video of Pooh running back and forth behind a fence, and the kids running back and forth after him, and that's magic you just didn't get in a meet and greet.
Agree. I hope they continue that too. And plus, like, I mean, that's just time that you're saving waiting in a line to meet a kid, which is, that's great, that's cute, whatever. And maybe like for certain experiences, they should, keep the Princess Fairy Tale Hall and like those characters that they need to meet. But I love this new thing. I love it.
I love it. The only thing that I need them to bring back, which is I need them to continue having the nighttime parade, and I need them to bring back Spectro Magic more than like anything.
Oh my gosh, I think we all three agree about Spectro Magic.
Yeah,
I can hear the trumpets playing in my ears, and I start
favorite parade. My favorite parade.
That was hands down, and that was one. And Brady Novotny, not a big parade person. He loves Spectro Magic. We own the soundtrack for Spectro Magic.
Yes, the soundtrack.
It's amazing.
Remember when I was a kid, and I don't even remember like the first time that I like had heard it. We were walking into the store, like the Emporium, and I was literally, my dad was walking with me, and I was like, I need the soundtrack, like whatever song is playing right now. And back then, remember how there was like CDs?
Yes.
They didn't have it.
No.
Like, the first year it came out, they did not have it on a CD. And I was like crushed because I was like, I love the music so much. It was moving. And to be honest, yes, Josh, pay attention to this.
Right.
How phenomenal would it be if on the 50th anniversary they bring that back as like a nighttime parade? Like this. I'll
pass out. I'd be so excited.
Well, because so Disney, I understand maybe you don't have the budget to build a parade right now because things are tight. You're coming back from COVID. Guess what? You probably have a lot of these floats in storage. I know that some were destroyed, but between Spectro Magic and the Main Street Electrical Parade, you can put a parade together. The Paint the Night parade. Take 4 or 5 floats. Whatever you got left.
Use that Maleficent float and throw some lights on her.
Paint the Spectro Electrical Parade. We will take it. And honestly, though, I would take the custodians swinging sparklers wearing Mickey hats
at this
walking
point
down at 9 o'clock at night. I would take that.
Whatever.
Just give me something. But I agree with the character cavalcades. I think they can still do Festival of Fantasy just like normal, and even a nighttime parade, and still have the cavalcades because all it is just characters walking through the park. That's it. That's all it is. And I think it can easily be done, and it brings so much delight to people. So many people love them in the videos. And for us agents, it's easy because you take a 1-minute video and you're done. It's not like you have to record every single float for 15 minutes and then decide what to parse and what to record and what to post and hope somebody watches 15 minutes. No. People will watch your 45-second video of Tinkerbell. It's
just so cute and whimsical. And like, I just remember at Christmas time when I was down there and I had my hair up in a bun and she's like pointing at me and she's like pointing at her bun. And I'm like, yes, we're like,
and I love the fact that Tink has her parade all her own. She's like, I'm not sharing the spotlight with anybody. You crazy princesses can do your own thing. I'm Tink and I got this by myself. So
I mean, and she does. Like, let's be real.
She holds it. She holds it.
She does own it.
Jenna, what do you want to continue?
Okay. I want them to continue innovating again because they bring the magic and innovating magic. That's what you want.
It's like they could bring back like an intervention of some sort. That would be cool.
Oh, that's destroyed literally.
And then in interventions, you could have like an attraction where they do waste management, and then you can have an attraction where you can experience a tornado and experience like what's like
we've done this.
Fire, and then a simulator that doesn't really look real. It just kind of flips you around, and that would be awesome.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Heather, where can we find you online? I know that you have several. I feel like you have an entire primetime slate of shows on YouTube and such. Where would people find you with the Quack Talk and the show you've got going with Irene and the other girl that's not Irene? I can't remember her name, but you have.
Irene did say hello. I was talking to her before. I was like, I have to get on to the podcast. And she was like, tell them I said hello. So she does say hello.
She's a former agent of Moana Star,
Yes.
and she's just wonderful. She does a lot of stuff on YouTube as well. Great videos.
Yes.
Wonderful World of Walt is actually where you can find her on YouTube. So just Google that and you'll find her. So Heather, where can we find you in all the places?
On Facebook, I'm Heather upon a Star. So you just have to type that in your little search box for there. But other than that, on Instagram and YouTube, I'm the Moana Mom, because someone in Japan has a dog that's like a poofy dog and took Moana Mom, even though I like own the domain and everything. So I'm the Moana Mom.
Not the Wreck-It Ralph mom, and not the Big Hero 6 mom. And
on Instagram and YouTube. And my daughters started a show whenever COVID happened. They do a show called Quack Chat, and they are hilarious, and they are polar opposites, and they're the best. So they have their own show. And then now we've gotten together with a couple other moms, and we do Mama Mouse Club every other Thursday, and we rotate channels between like me and 3 other moms, and it's really picked up like a really good following because it's just moms being real, talking about Disney. What else would you want to do on a Thursday night? I can't think of one thing.
No,
I love it.
Same.
That's fantastic. Jen, where can people let's tell people where they can find you if they're not already following you now because you're in Sedona at the Grand Canyon. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Upon the Star Jen, or you can find me at Jen_Novotny. And I know I'm posting some pretty amazing pics. So
your pics have been fantastic. You know, and I'm saying that in good faith because I know they will be fantastic.
They will be.
Find me on Instagram at The Magic on $1. Find me on Facebook at Disney on $1 and Magic on $1. It's a Disney page and my Disney fan page. You can also find the MSE podcast. That's the phrase that pays in magic and love. Find us online in the themsepodcast.com. That's our show notes, and go see all the pretty pictures of all the wonderful people we've had on, including Heather. You'll be able to put the cursor right there on her face between her eyes, double click, and I'll take you to her page. Find us, of course, at the MSEpodcast at gmail.com. That's our email address. And of course, you can use that same handle for Facebook, for Twitter, and for Instagram, as we try to post as much as we can. Really, we're only doing Instagram right now because we just don't have time for anything else. But yeah, come follow us in all the places. Share the show. Tell the people about the show. Tell the people about the Moana Mom and her show and all that good stuff, because we want to share the love with everybody. Heather, this has been wonderful. We love hearing you talk about Disney because you're just, you're authentic with your magic.
Yes.
And that's fantastic.
Well, this is so much fun. I can't wait to do it again.
And
well,
unlike
wait to have you back.
Jen, I know that you're thinking probably not going to have Heather on for their 50 or 60 episodes. She can be on anytime she wants.
Yeah,
she really can.
Till we're in Asia, like doing the parks.
Jen will be like, Heather, have you been on before? Yes, I was on. Really? For Jen,
I can't even defend myself.
Right.
Happy birthday, Jen, by the way, this past
Happy
week.
birthday, Jen.
Thanks.
For Jen. For the Moana Mom, Heather, I'm Dave. And hey, don't forget to thank your Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.